Look about you. Look at the world that cradles you like a cruel mother, bringing comfort with one hand while the other stabs you in the back. You're locked in a cycle of emotion, of weakness, of infinite hesitation. You feel that emotion is what makes you human, but let me tell you something. Emotion is a trap. It's a leash put around your neck, dragging you through life like a battered dog. Stop getting emotional. It's time you shed the skin of weakness and embrace the darkness that can propel you to absolute strength. Because that's the reality of this world. Those who control their emotions control everything. The trap of emotion. What has emotion ever gotten you? Moments of brief happiness? The warm embrace of comfort? The satisfaction of being understood? These are illusions, distractions to keep you comfortable. Happiness doesn't last, comfort weakens you, and understanding, well, that's the biggest deception of all. No one will ever understand you totally, and even if they did, what would it change? It wouldn't alleviate the burdens on your shoulders or the failures that keep you awake at night. Understanding doesn't fix anything. Action does. Emotion impairs your judgment. It makes you act impulsively when you should be considering. It makes you care when you should be focused. It makes you weak when you should be strong. Stop letting it rule you. The moment you embrace your emotions is the moment you lose control over your life. Think back to every single moment you've been harmed, betrayed, or abandoned. You undoubtedly felt hurt, right? Your emotions kicked in. Anger, despair, disappointment. But what did those emotions do for you? Did they fix the situation? Did they make you stronger? No, they merely emptied you, turned you into a puppet of your own vulnerability. Your emotions didn't save you. They enslaved you. Your pain is meaningless. Let's chat about pain, your favorite subject. You move around thinking the world owes you something because you've been hurt. You hold your scars like trophies, thinking that your pain qualifies you to empathy or kindness. But here's a terrible truth. Your grief is pointless. The world doesn't care about your misery. The folks around you are too busy waging their own conflicts to give a damn about yours. Your grief, your sadness, your brokenness, they are irrelevant. The world will keep spinning whether you're pleased or drowning in despair. So, stop expecting it to pause for you. Stop thinking your suffering makes you exceptional. Pain is inevitable. It's the cost of living in a world that doesn't care about fairness or justice. But here's the difference between you and the strong. The strong feel suffering too, but they don't let it define them. They use it. They take their anguish and turn it into fuel. It becomes a tool, a weapon that sharpens their focus and strengthens their resolve. They don't lament about it. They use it to drive forward. Your pain can be your greatest ally if you let it. But as long as you keep wallowing in it, you will remain exactly where you are, weak, dejected, and stagnant. The choice is simple. Use your pain or be eaten by it. The power of indifference. Emotions are shackles. They link you to people, to events, to consequences. The moment you stop caring is the moment you release yourself. Indifference is not apathy, it's power. It's the ability to look at any scenario, any person, and say, "You don't control me. You don't influence me. I am beyond this." Indifference permits you to act with clarity. When you're not emotionally invested, you make better decisions. You see things as they are, not as you wish they were. You don't let your desires, your fears, or your anxieties affect your judgment. You simply act, and in that action you find control. People will tell you that indifference is frigid, that it makes you uncaring. Good. Be heartless. In a world that relies on emotional manipulation, your lack of attachment will make you invincible. When you are indifferent, You become immune to the weapons of the weak: guilt, humiliation, sympathy. These are instruments employed by folks who can't stand on their own, who require others to carry them through life. You don't need them. You don't need anyone. Indifference is the road to freedom. When you no longer worry about pleasing others, about conforming to their expectations, about fitting into their flimsy conceptions of good and bad, you finally become free to live on your own terms. You define your own morals, your own achievement, your own destiny. Nothing and no one has power over you unless you give it to them. So stop giving away your power. Rage is the exception. Now, some of you may wonder, if emotion is weakness, what about anger? Isn't fury a powerful emotion? Doesn't it propel people to greatness? Yes and no. Anger is the exception to the norm, but only when managed. Uncontrolled fury is equally as dangerous as sadness or fear. It blinds you, makes you careless. But focused rage is a force unlike any other. It's raw, untapped energy. It's the fire that burns through obstacles, the desire that pushes you forward when nothing else will. The idea is to harness your anger, to channel it into positive activity. Let it push you to strive above your circumstances, but never let it overtake you. Anger is a tool, not a master. When you learn to control it, to utilize anger as fuel rather than having it dominate you, you become unstoppable. But beware, too many people mistake wrath for strength. They allow their anger define their actions, and in doing so, they become predictable, easily controlled. The powerful do not lash out blindly. They do not allow their wrath control them. They wield it like a sword, sharp and precise, chopping down only what needs to be cut down. Embrace the darkness. The world isn't light and fair. It isn't kind. It's dark, harsh, and insensitive to your misery. The sooner you embrace it, the sooner you can stop playing by the rules that were created to keep you weak. There is a darkness inside you, and for too long you've been terrified of it. You've been taught to conceal it, to bury it beneath layers of civility and goodness. But that darkness is your true self. It's your strength, your resilience, your capacity to rise above the trifling concerns of the weak. Embrace it. Stop getting emotional. Stop on to this idea that emotions are what make you human. What makes you genuinely human is your will, your ability to transcend beyond the animal instincts that emotions reflect. The ones that survive, the ones who prosper, are the ones who transcend their underlying emotions, who learn to control them, manipulate them, and ultimately reject them. The world belongs to the cold, the calculating, the apathetic. It belongs to those who can look into the abyss and not flinch, who can face the worst in humanity and not shatter. It belongs to those who are willing to do what others won't because they've stopped worrying about the opinions of the weak. And that can be you. You don't need to be happy to be successful. You don't need to be understood to be strong. You don't need to feel love or affection to find meaning. These are pleasures, not requirements. The only thing you actually need is your will, the determination to keep pushing forward no matter what, to keep battling when everything around you shouts for you to stop. No one is coming to save you. Let's dispel another myth while we're at it. No one is coming to help you. You could imagine that if you weep loud enough, if you suffer hard enough, someone will notice. Someone will swoop in and fix everything for you. But they won't. No one cares about your troubles as much as you do, and even if they did, no one has the power to fix your life but you. You are responsible for your own salvation, no one else. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you'll stop waiting for help that will never arrive. This world is full of people yearning to be saved, but the strong don't wait. The strong save themselves. They look at their circumstance and, Instead of wasting time regretting it, they do something about it. They don't cry for rescue. They become their own savior. You have to be willing to confront the darkness alone. You have to be willing to take responsibility for everything in your life. Every failure, every setback, every disappointment. They're all yours. Own them. Only when you stop expecting others to cure your issues will you find the strength to fix them yourself. Burn away the weakness. Now comes the hard part, the part most people will never do. You need to burn away your weakness. All of it. The uncertainties, the fears, the doubts, the emotions that obscure your judgment. They all need to disappear. If you want to be strong, truly powerful, you can't afford to bear them any longer. This is going to hurt. It's going to feel like you're pulling away everything you thought made you human. But in truth, you're taking away the layers of weakness that have been strangling you. What's left will be pure, raw strength, the essence of who you truly are. It's not going to happen overnight. This is a process, a lifelong commitment. Every day you'll have to make the choice to be strong, to stop being emotional, to push through the anguish, the loneliness, the doubt. Every day you'll have to choose to rise above your surroundings, to face the darkness with wide eyes and an unshakable will. And in the end, when all the frailty is burned away, you will stand alone, indestructible and free. Stop getting emotional. Embrace the darkness and become the master of your own fate.